It was a dark and stormy night, nor'easter rolling in. It's a long 12 hours, the power's out again. I pray for inner strength and that we don't lose no lives. Just another day in the first responders' eyes. Half a cup of coffee's gone, the first run comes in. A car slid off the road, there's a family trapped within. My heart beats like a hammer, I can barely catch my breath. I'm thinking the worst and hoping for the best. Yeah, we ain't superheroes, we're just ordinary people trying to make a difference, and the first on every scene. It's a heavy, heavy burden to carry all this burden when you can't unsee the things you've seen. It keeps going on when those sirens are gone.
All right, welcome to the night. I keep doing that. Hey, welcome to the award-winning Mad Radio Show, broadcasting live from Fishbowl Radio Network studios here in Globe Life Park, the heart of the entertainment district, here in Arlington, Texas. You are listening to John and Sam on this Making a Difference Wednesday, and we are healing after the aftermath. Welcome, Sam. How are you?
I am doing great.
Man, it's been a crazy week. You know, we had a 41-year veteran of the Houston Police Department gunned down in a domestic violence call that shouldn't have happened. Our thoughts and prayers go out to his family, his friends, and to the whole Houston Police Department for and this incident should have never, ever happened. A criminal was let back out onto the streets to murder one of our own. And I think accountability in the Houston DA's office. And
the DA's got some explaining to do.
Yes, the DA's office and the judge who handled the case to give a known felon, known illegal back ammunition, knowing that he had a gun somewhere in that apartment, was a cocktail for disaster. And I think that Sergeant Preston and his family paid the price for a system that is becoming broken.
Well, it sounds like the DA's office and the judges need to go through the course that I teach.
Yes.
Just saying. The Texas License to Carry course and what determines your eligibility, because clearly this person, it's murderer, let's call him what he is, should not have a gun. So
right.
The inference being, wait a sec, he has ammo? Maybe he has a gun. Maybe we need to look into it. Maybe we don't let him out. Maybe he doesn't gun down a 41-year veteran of HPD.
Right. And, you know...
I believe the other officer was injured as well.
Yeah, and so was the guy's 14-year-old son was shot in the he shot his 14-year-old son in the stomach.
So...
You know, and what gets me is this guy dated back. He had a violent felony history dating back almost 10 years. And since Houston is a sanctuary city, the proper authorities were never notified of any of those arrests.
But the judge had his jacket. So FFFF, that F word, felony, ammunition, gun. Hello. Yeah.
How do you? I don't understand how you do that.
Our investigator minds, it's like, that's a clue.
Yeah, I don't.
What do you need? A 2x4 upside the head?
I don't get it. And like I said, a man who dedicated his life to Houston, spent 41 years serving the community, ready for retirement, ready to enjoy his life with his family. Was taken away from him because of politics. because of politics.
Yep. Well, I need to give a huge shout out to the parking folks here, just in front of the fishbowl. Apparently, if you care, there's a World Series going on. Not that we care. We got good stuff going on here in the studio, and we're not supposed to be parking in the lot that we're assigned to park in each week. So I smiled nicely and asked nicely and
They
said
let you in?
please, and he's like, you might get one of the last spots, but don't tell anybody else. So
I got here just before. I got here about 2:00 this afternoon, and our parking lot was packed. Because I think they're fitting about 18,000 fans into Globe Life Field for the World Series. They're about 25% capacity, but it's really 100% capacity in our parking lot, so it is making it a little difficult. Today we were supposed to have Blues Police Magazine coming in to do a story on try to do a story on Mad Radio and healing our heroes, but unfortunately they had some transportation issues around Houston and had to turn around. But we will have them back next week. I hope they limped that car home. Mike, hope you got home safe. And we are looking forward to having you on the radio show next Wednesday. Today, we have a very good friend of ours. He is a retired SWAT officer from Orlando, Florida. He is one of the co-hosts of Trauma Behind the Badge. You can check those guys out every Tuesday on their webinar. I've been watching their webinar for the last couple of months, and I tell you, it's informative. It's back lot talk for our law enforcement. It's everything we talk about in the back parking lot, and it really helps you heal on a different level than sitting on a therapy couch. So check out Trauma Behind the Badge. Check them out on Facebook. It's a free registration for their webinar, and it's an hour long, but it's the best hour you have ever spent on a Tuesday night. TraumaBehindTheBadge.org. We are going to get in touch with Raul Rivas. We are trying to get him up on the video and Skype right now, but we are working on that as we speak. Once again, man, I want to thank Laura Moore for watching. Demi Stewart, as always. Judy, thank you. Judy, what's the matter with the audio? She said, sorry, my bad. Okay, so we got some good audio going on. Please like and share this show, because your share into different groups with Mad Radio can save a life. It's all about healing our first responders and the different therapeutic processes that are out there. Post-traumatic stress can affect people in different ways. It has no boundaries, but the therapeutic aspect of post-traumatic stress varies in many different ways. What works for one person may not work for another. So we try to get you the vetted services that are out there to help you heal. Once again, we are trying to get Raul on the line, but maybe Florida is blocking us. But once again, please like and share our show. And if you go onto my personal webpage, we are doing a breast cancer awareness ruck on Heroes Memorial Bridge on this upcoming Sunday. Melinda McLennan is organizing that, and I have agreed to shave my head to the highest donation. The highest donation gets to shave my head at the foot of Heroes Bridge. So come on out and watch me get my head shaved at the foot of Heroes Bridge to raise awareness for breast cancer. Hey, thank you for joining in, Bruce. Always a pleasure. I'm glad you got back safe.
We're trying to get Raul here connected with our Skype account and everything. In the meantime, sharing some good news, since we're talking about Trauma Behind the Badge, waiting for Raul to come on. Great news to report. Last week I talked about a friend that reached out, was really in a bad place. he is now in a safe place, receiving treatment, and
Excellent.
he will be moving on to one of our vetted partners until he's like ready to come home. So
Fantastic. That's
yep.
always a good news story to find,
So best of luck to him, and prayers to his family, his wife. He has a wife and he has a grown son, but it doesn't matter how old you are and how long you've been married. It still takes its toll. So, yeah. So prayers.
We've been seeing, hearing more and more people battling each and every day. And it seems like there's an uptick in it. And I don't know if it's got to do with the lockdown. I don't know if it's got to do with, people, the mental stress of this COVID pandemic is really weighing on a lot of our first responders because they're not able to process things on a normal level anymore. They're working, they're whatever shifts they're working. They have, especially off law enforcement, they're inundated with now with riots and civil unrest and the elections. And I know New York has canceled a lot of days off and vacations for the upcoming election, so that's putting more people on a stressful level. So now you got the elections, you got COVID.
It's the perfect storm.
Yeah, it is. It really is. On top
I'm laughing not because it's funny, because somebody had a yard sign, so the election coming up, typical yard signs, fiery ball of death for 2020. I mean, it's like, asking for a clean slate to
are we getting a call?
No, I think that's from another studio.
Wow,
we have good hearing tonight.
Yeah, that phone
that's
is
surprising.
loud.
But not to make light of it, but one of the biggest things with stress is the lack of control. And one thing that I've noticed that's affected law enforcement and non-law enforcement alike is we don't know what's going on. We don't know what's going to happen. It seems like minute to minute, you're getting conflicting reports about everything.
Right.
And that takes its toll. Because you want to process something that makes sense to you, right?
Right.
You want to feel like something is making sense. You don't want to worry about your child going to school every day. Oh my God, are they going to come back with COVID? Is somebody going to get COVID? Is the teacher going to get COVID? Where were they last night? I mean,
right.
But the bigger issue that I don't think we're paying attention to is the media and social media is all spinning this to keep us in that box where we don't have control. Do we have a call, or is that Raul? Okay. All right.
Okay.
We got our board manager Michael on the ball here. So
all right. So once we get him up on video,
can you guys hear me?
We can hear you.
look at that voice, man. That's like a Luther Vandross voice, man.
we hear you, Raul.
All right. Can you guys see me? Let me ask you that.
Yes, we can see you. Yay. See, when technology works, it's a wonderful thing.
It's a wonderful thing.
There you are.
I was worried there for a minute. Trust me, I got real worried. So, man, I don't know if I did something wrong or what.
No, that's why we got young tech guys that know how to connect those dots, working our board. So thank you, Michael. And Raul, thank you for your patience. 26-year veteran of the retired now from Orlando PD SWAT. And for those listening, just like 9/11, I think a lot of us remember where we were when the Pulse Nightclub shooting went down.
Yeah.
We had, correct me if I'm wrong, Raul, over 100 people shot and 49 people died.
Yes, ma'am.
And
that number is a little. I think it's up in it's 50 something now because some people have passed due to the incident, but it took them. They died later. So.
Got it. So
mostly young kids. Mostly,
Yeah, for the most part, young club goers. People at the club, 20s and 30s.
Yeah, I guess they're kids to us.
Yeah,
but,
the kids to us.
adults.
You know,
Yeah.
Raul, you've had a pretty busy career going from in Orlando, becoming a SWAT team member, and then actually you were leading the SWAT team, weren't you? At one point?
I was an assistant team leader, so I'm one of the guys, one leadership on the team. So yes, sir.
You know, right there, that is that's a job that only a few could handle, and being a patrol cop is one thing. You're looking at you and your partner, but being a SWAT team leader, you're responsible for a lot of lives. Your decisions, your tactics have to be on point at all times. So when we talk about hypervigilance and we talk about trying to keep that blade as sharp as possible to make sure that everybody goes home safe, man, I can't imagine the mental anguish every day that ran through your head. I mean, I'm sure there were good times because SWAT teams really bond a lot,
Yeah.
but the training, the mental preparedness has to be on point at every given moment.
No, absolutely. I'll tell you that I praise OPD in so many ways, and what you just brought up is one of the ways that I praise them. I enjoyed good leadership on the OPD SWAT team for all my years that I was there. Truly had some warriors, leaders and warriors, and that's not the same. You can be a leader and not a warrior. You can be a warrior and may not be a leader. I was able to have both in my leadership in my time on the SWAT team. So, and then it becomes easy to learn from that. You're watching the leaders in front of you, and you're watching the warriors and what they do in certain things. So you begin to emulate those things, and I was real lucky in that regard. I'm absolutely lucky, and I will sing the praises of my leaders on the SWAT team through my years. Anytime I get a chance, I was real lucky.
Well, I was going to say, do you mind taking us back to that day? Because for you, you're showing up. It's another day at work. John wants to go
before we get into that as well, I just want to I commended you on this, the 26 years of service, but you still give, and I want to give a big shout out to Trauma Behind the Badge, because now you're part of that team.
Yes, sir.
Which goes out and helps other officers. Tell us how you got involved with that as well.
Wow. Which one would we start first? Go
Trauma Behind the Badge. Trauma Behind the Badge.
John's going to go with the end of the kind of the wraparound after work, and then we'll go back to the day of.
Am I going out of turn here?
It's out of order, but it's all good.
All right.
It's all
I didn't mean to go out of order.
You guys argue. I'm gonna have a drink, so excuse me 1 second. Yeah. only playing. Excuse me. So basically, after the Pulse incident, and after we were kind of free to talk about it a little bit, I happened to be given a debrief at a conference, and I don't know a whole lot about mental health, except to know that I had some shit going on in my head, and as well as a bunch of us on the SWAT team, and the debriefs kind of helped me a little bit, and just talking about it, and who's in the audience but Doug Monda listening to me, and that connection was made, and that's where it was. I don't know. We clicked right away, and whoever's met Doug knows he's just that guy. He just kind of, you gotta like him. There's no other way to put it. You just gotta like Doug. He's just that guy, and we clicked, and then we started talking and talking more, and I'm so honored and privileged he asked me to be part of the team. And man, what a team. I had no idea I was going into an all-star team like this, and I am not worthy. Chris Scallon, Chris Fields, Doug Monda, the boss lady, Jen, Thayer. I just can't say enough. Those people behind the scenes and the all-star team I just gave you, just unbelievable And again, I'm not worthy, but I'm going to try to do them proud. But that's how we kind of met up, and the education that I have gotten since I've been with them, just the mental health side of it. Again, I know my story, and I know what I went through, and I know my little world, at the Orlando Police Department, and the guys around me and what they've gone through. But and of course, I knew that other people around the country were going through it, but now I'm kind of seeing it, and I'm hearing it, and I'm talking to people about it, and it's just, I can't tell you how it does something inside of me that I just can't explain. So just thank you to Doug, and I got to meet people like you, John and Sam. I can't say enough, and Mongo and Sideshow. I just, man, if not for Doug and trying behind the badge and us, doing what we're trying to do and just do the good work, I wouldn't meet people like you guys. So, and hopefully I'm making a difference by telling my story.
Definitely.
Yeah, go, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
All right, now
You definitely are.
Now we can circle back around.
now we're gonna circle back around to connect the dots so that people really understand, how your mindset changed. Because let's face it, I mean, you, me, and John, we put on the badge, put on the gun, walk out the door, ready for another day's work. We're ready to tackle whatever comes our way, and what happened? You're at work.
Yeah.
Take us through.
I always talk about it's so weird how things happen, and well, weird's not a good word. I call it the SWAT gods, and I say that because we have a saying in Orlando where things happen in threes. And I say the Orlando SWAT team, we have a saying that things happen in threes. And how is it that we had 2 SWAT call-outs within probably 30-something hours, both of them hostage situations, and then Pulse happened? Was that the SWAT guys trying to sharpen our blade a little bit, getting us ready? I don't know, but and they were real deals. I mean, the one just before Pulse happened that afternoon, vehicle pursuit and crashes and runs into a house and takes people hostage. And we were there for a couple hours doing our thing. And I remember just being totally, because we ended up having to make entry into a gas department, and we confronted the guy in the bathroom, and the fight was on. I mean, he gave us everything we could handle. And I remember just being totally gassed. And then going home, I didn't even get to go home. Went to visit some family, and by the time I got home, I don't think I barely put my left butt cheek on the bed, and the damn phone was going off. And it said active shooter, respond to this address. And my first thought was, active shooter goes what, 3 minutes, 5 minutes? Mm-hmm. How long does that last for, I'm 30 minutes away from the scene easily. So my first thought was, by the time I scratch my butt, and put my pants on, this thing's gonna be over. It didn't get real to me until I got in my car, turned the radio on. It's still going on. I'm like, what kind of active shooter is this? So that was my mindset going in, but then I'm listening to the radio, I get all the way down there. We're at a club, and it's a club that I've heard of, but just never went there. There's never no problems that I can remember, and I may be sheltered in that way, but I don't remember any problems ever happening at that club. I mean, we really knew it was there. Get to the club, and I tell you and I don't want to ever call a SWAT call out normal, but everything was normal. Where everybody's setting up. They think they've got them kind of barricaded in the back of the club. And this is the thing I talk about when I talk about leadership. Everybody was told to grab the next guy coming in, take him inside. And that's when it became real. When I was taken inside the club to see the carnage that he had left behind on the dance floors. And this, it was like a war zone. I've done my military time. I've seen some dead bodies and on the job in the military. It was like a war zone, and we're talking here on the U.S. soil. This wasn't some third world country, during a wartime situation. This is, little old Orlando, Florida, United States of America, bodies upon bodies on the dance floor. That's when it became real, that we have a person here that is shown his willingness and ability to do what he said he's going to do.
So, Raul, when you entered the Pulse Nightclub,
Mm-hmm.
The shooter was still barricaded.
Yes, sir.
Like, I'm just trying to get a picture of the building. You walk in. There's the carnage is on the dance floor. You have multiple victims, deceased, and now you're making your way through there to where the active shooter is barricaded.
That's correct.
Okay.
So one of the warriors that I talk about, Scott Smith, was one of the guys that started pushing the assault towards him, and his efforts led him to barricading into the back bathrooms. And if you would, it's going to be hard to try to paint a picture here, but if you were to go into the front of the club, the bathrooms were past the dance floor, past a bar, to the back of the club. That's where the bathrooms were at. And so he had barricaded himself down this hallway that led to two bathrooms. There's a left bathroom, and I say left and right bathroom because this was a gay nightclub. Those two bathrooms there didn't have any, it wasn't a male or female, it's just left and right. You just go wherever you want to go. So you go down this hallway, there's a left door, right door, that they were opposing, and that he was barricaded back down that hallway, and and that was the back of the club. I mean, there was no way to get out of there. Now, of course, Scott Smith, who's the warrior I'm talking about that pushed the action, he didn't know when he got there. He's pushing the action because he heard some shots. He moved towards the shots and he couldn't hear anything else. He stopped right there, and then no other shots were fired until 3 hours later. So that's where it became barricaded.
So you guys were in there for 3 hours.
Yeah.
Sitting at the ready or at the ready. Was there any communication between you guys and the shooter?
Yeah, so he and so there was some 911 calls, of course, that were made from people inside, people in the bathroom, in the opposite bathroom that he was in, and then of course he did dial 911 at some point. And there was some communication with him during that time, and he was just he was out there. I've got when I do a debrief, I've got some of the recordings where he's talking to 911 and just out there. I can't even explain it. Just way out there, pledging allegiance and all that kind of shit. So I'm sorry, I can't curse. I'm sorry about that.
But wow, I didn't even know this. I didn't know you still had survivors still.
Yes.
So they're trapped in the bathroom across. So, in essence, they're hostages because they're pinned down. They can't leave.
Yes, absolutely. So he's got people in both bathrooms. And when I say people, there are people in both bathrooms. Of course, the ones that he has in his bathroom, and then across the hall there in the other bathroom, there's people that are like just hiding in there. And you got to understand that. And again, I'll try to paint a picture, but he walked through the club just firing, and as people would fall down, he would walk over them and fire again on them, executing them.
Jesus. So
this is the kind of it's the kind of person that we're talking about, and people did everything they could to survive. God bless every one of them. Were people trying to hide underneath other people? Yeah, probably so. Were people hunkering down in a corner where they thought maybe it's, yeah. Were they trying to hide in the bathroom? Yes, absolutely. And so even though he may not have been in one of the bathrooms, they didn't feel safe trying to come out. They didn't know where he was, or they knew he was in the bathroom, but trying to time to come out that door. Would he be coming at the same time? That's a scary proposition too. So yeah, they were hunkering down in both the other bathroom, and of course he had hostages in the bathroom he was in.
Sam, me and you talk about this all the time. The decompression. Okay, yeah. Like Raul was saying, that just before this shooting incident, he was at another hostage situation. Gets home. There is no chance for decompression. His ass didn't even hit the couch yet.
I think it was his right. The left one did. He didn't get the scratch.
He didn't get the scratch right.
But the left one got a little bit. Let's say the left one got a little bit of the bed, but the right one didn't get any of it.
And the phone rings and he's back out, and now he's at this other trauma. Because even
following it along on the radio, because like you said, I mean, you and I, active shooters, it is 2, 3, 5 minutes max.
Right.
Yeah.
So
and
now
this is still going.
Your head still, and that, this is where we talk about cops are not robots. They can't just shut down the one incident and turn on another. You're still replaying that first hostage situation in your head when you're getting home, and now you gotta once again get into that training mode. Get to here. You got to flip the switch. Now you get there, and so many things. I can't imagine the things that are running through your head, knowing that you still have survivors there. You walk through carnage on a dance floor. You still got survivors in the back bathrooms. Is this guy going to come out holding hostages as human shields? Are you going to have to take a life? I mean, how does your thought process go through? I mean, how do you work through that?
Yeah, well, I mean, so at that point when it's barricaded, it was a barricaded gunman hostage situation. We're thinking hostage rescue, and so we're trying to figure that part out, and people that don't know, I'm sure that people that are listening know about this, but hostage rescues are planned, man. We plan that to a T. We rehearse it. We've got to know. Everybody has to know what the next guy is going to do. You got to know where the corners are. It's rehearsed until it can't. We rehearse it until we can't get it wrong. And so, we had a bunch of problems in this one though. We didn't really have a good layout of what it looked like inside. Then, it was, I'm not sure who knows this, but he claimed that he had a bomb.
Right.
Another element.
Yeah, and then the claim came out that he had a bomb out in his car, which was parked just outside of the club. So now we've got 2 bombs. And then a little later on, intel comes out that he's strapping bombs onto the hostages and gonna start sending them out. Wow. So that changes everything. Changes everything. We have to, from where you may have been 25 yards away, now you got to back up a little bit. Got to back everybody up.
You got to get everybody out of the parking lot too.
Right. So now your game plan changes. Your game plan changes.
So now, is there any doubt in anybody's mind based on what you've seen when you go there with all the bodies? Any doubt that he's going to detonate?
Right.
Because he's already proven that he's willing to kill and kill as many.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah,
so
now there are photos, and please walk us through this. The photos of the scene, and I don't know if it was afterwards, where there are giant holes in the brick. It looks like in the nightclub structure itself.
Right. So those were done. There came a time. What are we going to do? Are we going to? Because it's going to be almost impossible to kind of focus on trying to get him and save the people in the other bathroom at the same time. It was going to be really tough to do that because of the space, because of the layout, because of the makeup of the place, and of course the bombs. So it was determined that we were going to try to save as many people as we could, and we basically started busting holes through the exterior wall that led into those bathrooms. When I say bathrooms, we now, I'm fast forwarding a little bit, we now know that he's in the north bathroom, and I know everybody doesn't know what that means, but we know he's in the north bathroom, so it would be the one to the right. And we kind of figured that out through some intel and 911 calls and that kind of thing. So we started busting the hole through the left south bathroom to rescue people. And you talk about mindset. That's the first time in my SWAT career that the veterans, and it just is weird how this happens, but veterans always migrate to where the shit happens. I'm sorry, God dang it. We always migrate to where the action's going to be, where the stuff's going to be. So we end up being back there, and it's a bunch of veteran SWAT guys, and it's the first time in my career that I've ever heard us talk knowing that we were going to die. Because the bomb's going to go off any second now. So let's just keep saving as many as we can until the bomb goes off.
So you guys already put into your head that we're not going to make it out of this one.
Yeah, we knew that we weren't going to make it, and again, I talk about leadership and the warriors and the team. So whenever there's a call out, the command post, I call it the ivory tower. That's where all the chiefs and the captains, and that's where they're supposed to be. They're up there and they're moving the chess pieces, right? They got to move us around to make sure that we win whatever scenario we're facing. So our SWAT commander, Mark Canty, he's up in the ivory tower, and he hardly ever comes out. Because there's just so much going on. He gets all the info, all the intel, and he's making decisions. He's moving the chess pieces. This is the first time that I saw him come out and make some decisions and look people in their eyes. Because he knew what he was asking us to stay, knowing that this bomb's going off. So he's, in a sense, asking us to sit there and die. Not sit there, but keep working until you die.
Hard decision for a commander to make.
Sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Just not to cut you off, but, that brings us back to another command decision in Worcester, Massachusetts, when they lost the 9 firefighters. They were missing 2 firefighters. They sent 2 more in to go look for them in the cold storage warehouse. Then they sent another 2 in. And then they sent another 2 in, and Mayday after Mayday after Mayday. And before they sent any more guys in, and just like cops, firefighters are the same way, man. They're gonna run in to help a brother. The chief stood at the door and refused any more firefighters to go in. He made that decision. Hard pressed decisions to make, and I'm sure this was one of those same decisions. By a
absolutely, and there's I talk about it in my debrief where there's more than a few decisions that Mark Canty, the captain, had to make. That at the time, of course, I didn't, I was just following orders and kind of doing my thing. But man, just the leadership, the decision making, and to talk to him, he knew what he was asking of us. Let's go save some people. And there wasn't a man, SWAT team, patrol officer, everybody, and nobody left that scene. Even the people that backed up a little bit, they ain't back up far enough. Nobody left. Now, I am so proud of not only the SWAT team and what we did, but every patrol person and agency representative that was there, because I'm telling you, everybody showed up. We had, all the sister agencies were there to lend whatever hand during the beginning when it became the triage and trying to get people, live victims out of the club. Everybody was there. And when the bomb threat came up, nobody left. Nobody left.
Wow, and just for everybody listening, just remind everybody how long, I'll call it a siege. I mean, I don't know any other way to describe it. Lasted, start to finish. Yeah,
so it started about the 2 o'clock, I forget, 2:02, something like that, and it ended at 5:30 something. So about 3.5 hours. And it was literally 3 hours of just no shots being fired at all. So that's why, so I always make that distinction about the active shooter part and the barricaded gunman part. And so also, this is the Murphy thing. You go into the club, it's painted black, got mirrors everywhere, and echoes like a damn club's supposed to.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So when you're hearing people yelling and screaming, you can't tell where the hell it's coming from. So and there's a point, a video that I have that shows Scott he hears some shots, he moves to the area of the club that he hears the shots come from, but then he just don't know where, and he hears people screaming, but he can't tell where it's coming from.
Wow.
It's just and again, that's the Murphy part of the whole story. SWAT guys helped us though, because who would have thought that the DJ would have had sense to turn the music off?
Right.
Before he ran. That's the SWAT guys right there, right? I mean, because I can't imagine having to go into that club with all that crap going on. Just the music and the lights, and it's just all that more stimulus coming at you while you're trying to make a decision, a tactical decision. It would have been a lot.
Very disorienting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How did the
and I'm old, so I can't take that stuff.
So how did the siege finally end?
So we make the holes in the back there, and we're trying to rescue everybody we can. And man, he comes out like Rambo, two-fisting, guns blazing, shooting out the hole. So he comes out of the bathroom right to where the big hole is there, and he's just shooting. So all we could see was a figure, muzzle flash, and he got shot. We shot him.
So it was probably death by cop. It was suicide by cop. He knew he wasn't making it out of there.
Yeah, I firmly believe in my heart that he was doing everything he could to get us to come in. So he was going to try to take a couple of us with him, and he knew he was going to die. I believe that in my heart. We didn't kind of take that bait like the way he wanted, so he came out. And I think when he came out, I don't think he realized that he would be in. So there's a cloud of freaking like dust and stuff there. So whether he could see really good or not, I'm not sure. But when he came out, he was shooting as much as he could out that damn hole, and we lit him up.
Man.
And then it was kind of over. I mean, for you guys, you neutralized the threat.
Mm-hmm.
The threat is now stopped.
Right.
And you still got there's so well, we're not sure if he still has a bomb, but if he had any kind of detonator,
Right.
nothing exploded.
So I am not the bomb guy. I don't like them. I'm just not the bomb
But I mean,
guy.
but nothing exploded. So here you
Nothing
have
exploded.
Yeah.
Nothing exploded. Man, I just, so even though he's down, we're still trying to save people, and we're racing against the bomb. Because my thought process is, we just shot this guy up. How did that bomb not go off?
Right.
And again, I don't know shit about bombs. Sorry, I don't know anything about bombs, but how did it not go off being shot? So so anyway, so now we're kind of racing. We're racing, trying to grab people as fast as we can, make another hole in the wall there to get another access point to get more people out. So yeah, it was a race. I mean, while he was down, it wasn't over.
Wow. And then was there a separate team working in the parking lot on his car?
Yeah, so that happened after. So they had a dog go out there, and the dog did indicate on the car. It was actually a van. Indicated on the van, so they definitely thought they had bombs over there, and that they didn't clear that till after everybody was gone. Okay. So we kind of focused on the people in the back, because everybody in the club except for the 2 bathrooms had been evacuated.
Wow. Well, we clearly do not. I mean, this hour has raced by. We do not have enough time. No. People are on the edge of their seats. I mean, people are adrenaline overdrive. I mean, people are making comments.
The one thing I want to ask is, once again, and we cover this all the time, is, no human being on the face of this earth is able to really mentally process something like this without sufficient help, without no one can go through
some sort of outlet.
No one can just go through this and say, oh, I'm okay, because there's no way you can be okay.
And this was number 3.
Right. So
yeah.
real quick, and I want to do a part 2 to this with you, Raul, but
no problem.
How was the processing for you, and what did you feel? How long after this incident did it really turn around and go, holy crap? What was I involved in?
Man, I didn't. It got so going to the doctors and everything, and the psychs and all that kind of stuff, that sucked initially, and then we found the right kind of doctors for us, and that was good. But in my mind, I was good. So I don't think it was till about a year and a half. Well, I'm sorry, a year later is when it kind of hit me. And I got some shit in my head. Darn it. Sorry, guys.
No,
I got some stuff
in my
head I got to deal with.
I mean, did you have a debrief though? After there's press to deal with, there's lots of things going on. Did you debrief as a team?
We did. We debriefed as a team, and even that. And a really quick story on that is that they said, hey, we're going to debrief at whatever day, whatever time, and it's going to be a catered lunch. Just come out. So I'm thinking, hey, great, free lunch, 30 minutes. Yeah. I'm out. So I'm good. Again, I can't say enough about the leadership, but Scott Smith, again, one of the people I consider to be a warrior, was the first, and he's a lieutenant on the team. First guy to speak, spoke from his heart, let us know that he was hurting. And that 30-minute meeting turned into 4 hours.
Wow. Of
guys talking. I just can't say enough how proud I am of the SWAT team.
That's amazing, and to have your leadership step up.
That's good.
And kind of start the ball rolling, lay the groundwork, lay that comfort factor, and we're gonna pick it up. Raul, I hope you're available next week. Because we want to.
Yeah, I think so. We'll talk soon. We'll get it done.
Okay, good. Because we want to bring people in. So we've got kind of the part 1. We've got the trauma, and all now. Right. We got to heal, and we want everybody to understand you're hearing this from somebody that went through one of the worst active shooters that this nation has ever seen.
Yeah.
So, John and I, we can tell our 9/11 stories till the cow comes home, but we got to bring fresh stories on to show you that this continues. This is just going to keep going, and what the men and women are exposed to every day. We really have to take a step back, because it's not just them continuing to serve without any thought of themselves. They stayed knowing the bombs were going to go off, but they did their job, and now we have to pay attention to what happens after. So we've got to sign off the air here. Raul, thank you so much.
Yes,
and
thank
to
you.
all of the men and women out there in uniform that are serving us here and abroad, we are with you. We love you. We pray for you every day.
And once again, thank you, Raul. Tune in next week. As long as Raul is available, we'll do a part 2 on the healing. And remember, if anything, today is not the day to give up. Remember that. Until next week. Love yous. Stay blessed. Raul,
take care, guys. Thank you so much. We'll talk.
All right.
Take care.